Good morning and happy Saturday. Today we are doing 10 plus, and let me say plus almost 20
I was still pulling last night.
papers on the gel plate. So let's get ready. You guys know who we are. Well, you do yours.
P. Patricia.
M. Mariah. Good
Together
morning.
we are PM Artist Studio.
Good
I
morning.
really like to do that.
She likes to do that. Part.
Okay, I'm going away now.
She's going to go over here and we're going to go top view. Let us know if you are here in the chat. Hello, hello. We'll give everybody just a minute. I know P's she's raring to go. She's been doing this like all week long. Oh, actually, let's do face and top view. There we go. Get that. One of these days, I'm going to have cool little transitions and stuff like that. That'll be fun. Oh, we do have some people. Christy's here. Carrie's here. Lainey's Doodles and Creations. Oh, hello, Lainey. You're new. And Petra. Oh, from the Netherlands.
Oh, wow.
We spoke in chat the other day, I believe. Or, yeah, in chat. There we go. Cool.
Okay. Well, happy to have you all here. I hope that this meets your expectations.
Again, we've been
feeling a little pressure.
We've been pulling things together all week and writing down things and making lists, and then she switches it up on me, adds more papers.
Just a little bit, but I just keep going through papers and finding something else that I think is just absolutely,
Joanne's here. Hello, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
Man, we've got quite the crew already, right? Just coming out of the gate. Look at that. Very exciting.
Pretty exciting. The one thing I did not get, Mariah, and I don't know if I used it all, is that green packing paper that's kind of this color.
Oh, do I have to get up on the ladder like now?
Well, I'm not really sure. It might be in the tissue box. I might have stuffed some in the tissue box, which is on the second shelf.
All right, I'm going to go top view, and then you chat about, like, kind of give a little bit of...
Okay.
Just, do your thing.
There are a lot of different papers that we're going through today. Some very traditional, some that you already know about, I'm sure. But hopefully there'll be a couple that you don't know about, that I didn't know about. And I do have paper that I've never ever used before. I'm just hoping it. Oh, that's lovely, yes.
Well, I don't think you need, do you need like 20 yards of it?
No, I just need a couple pieces, like the top, bottom. That'll work.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna go over here and away from the mic and not be
crinkling paper. I really, really love this paper. I've used it. I've printed on it before. I've done embossing on it before. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful stuff? And I think this came in shoes, right?
I want to say that, but it's pretty long. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things they just keep ruffling it up in the box, and when you pull it out, you've got 25 yards of this stuff.
We should start labeling our packing materials so that way we do know where we got it from. And
yeah, seriously.
maybe determine
so
that,
we can have people that they might want to purchase something just for the packing material.
I see people talk about that a lot in the Facebook groups about determining whether you're going to purchase something based upon its packaging.
Absolutely, it is a factor. A relevant factor. Okay, this mask that we're going to use today is a failed stencil.
Hey, but I will say again, I saw it like just last night, somebody mentioning that they were cutting their borders off of their stencils because they saw it on another video. And so, hey,
we don't cut the borders off. We just cut the inside out.
Or we just don't know how to make stencils properly, and then we use the stuff anyway.
But I've used this. I did a whole series with this, so I'm just continuing. And you can see sometimes it kind of pulls off on the plate, but it's one of those things. I don't really. I like that because it just adds to the grunge. Now here is another one. I think I can just slippy slidey these over here. This is the other knife I'm going to use today.
Oh, we're getting a hot spot there on your lovely folders, but that's okay.
Sorry about that. I'll take that away. Okay, you saw the stencil. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just pull it out. It's
now tell them about your cool folder things, and because we've got some new people here, and Oh,
Okay.
Robin's here. Good morning, Robin. And she's in the chat. Hooray.
Yay, yay, yay. All right, as you can see, this has been used. And the parts that came out of it, I'm going to use today as a mask. So, that's that. Enough of that.
So keep both parts.
Don't ever
And then we even have plans. Someday you're going to see these once they're all totally like just mucked up and really not usable as stencils or masks. We plan to use them like in a project.
But these little things work really brilliantly on this
Boy, the last time you
little
used
smaller.
that was like during our boho.
Yes,
can
it
tell
was,
the
as you can
colors.
tell. I haven't used that since
You can always kind of tell
Happy
which.
Slappy Colors. Yoo-hoo. But I am going to use some Happy Slappy Colors today. At least I'm going to start off.
She'll start out there. She
But-
doesn't stay there.
We never ever quite end up there, so don't get too excited about that.
Oh, hello, Jane. Jane's here.
Do I know Jane?
Well, Jane, Jane, I sent you a message on Instagram, so if you want to just go over there, because I need some information from you, because you said you wanted a card. She was with us last week, and she wanted one of the ATCs. So, if you want one, I need your info.
Yes.
Same for you guys too. Like we're trying to get rid of some of the stuff because it just sits in boxes, and we want to send out happy mail. So
Yes.
make people happy.
Really. And
But you
I just
gotta
want
send me your
to
info.
make some more, so I'm happy to get rid of them. All right, so let's get started here. The plate is already kind of mucky. Imagine that.
Was that a good?
That was that I don't really care.
That's just how she rolls.
That's just how I roll. And I kind of, and this is my intention. You know the intentions. And remember, when was it?
Last week.
Last week?
Feels like a lot has happened this
Feels
week.
like,
It's
I mean,
been-
you know, okay, this is my,
it
I
feels like
wouldn't
a month has gone
never,
by.
never be without, you know, they say, what thing could you not, what paint? Well, this would be it. It is absolutely the best stuff ever.
Carrie's, she's arting while watching.
Oh,
We're
good.
totally for it.
I'll let you know if there's anything
I'll try to keep the
earth-shatteringly
commentary coming
important happening here.
and try to be as funny as possible.
Yes. Just Mariah's in charge of that.
Oh, Christy's arting while watching too.
I'll listen to those guys.
And
All right, I'm just going to give this a, I didn't put any,
now keep in mind it takes her a few runs to
yeah, and I should be using some kind of crappy paper
junky paper.
to get this going because
Oh.
it's just,
Lainey's drawing. All right.
all right, that's nice and goopy. I'm just going to add a little silver here to break up some of the brown.
Hey, and I'm going to tell Robin, have you noticed that she has stopped kind of mixing off to the side and just doing it on the plate? She's
You know,
changing up her
I
style a
still
little. She
do,
does that on the bigger one.
I do it when I have a big area to cover and I want it to all be kind of the same, but I don't, you know, really care. Okay,
What you looking for?
I'm just looking for my stencil here.
She was supposed to be very organized.
I was very organized. Is this the one I want to use? All right, I'm going to use.
I was very organized up until
We've
about
got-
5 seconds ago.
We've got. Well, I didn't realize, you know, to get the plate ready because
Yeah,
it really is true.
I almost was going to say maybe you should do a little
I was going to
few
start,
runs,
and then I started
but I
drinking
know
my.
poor Robin. She's still waking. I know you're so awesome for. She's in California, so.
Oh
yeah,
my goodness! What
it's
time is
early.
it?
It's 8 a.m. there.
Oh heavens!
I
Heavens!
know, and then Brad, sorry, that's my husband. He was saying you should do it earlier in the morning. I'm like, no, I think 10 is kind of like the, and that's kind of the earliest because we're hitting a lot of you guys. I know that like in the Netherlands it's 5 p.m. ish, so that's a pretty. If you, I guess unless you're doing something on a Saturday night, we don't do anything but this sort of stuff on a Friday, Saturday, all day, all week. That's what we do. Did you show your little thing?
I wasn't. I don't know that it's.
These are test runs.
These are test runs. This is just to get us going here. Okay, that's.
That might be something later.
It will be, and I will pull something off of that. I'm just kind of getting my brain going this morning.
We
Once I get into the
it's cold out.
flow of things, it'll
It's like 21 or something, the last report we got. 21 degrees in Texas.
Okay, this is my new color that I love the most. And it is fluid. So that means it's very squishy, and you've got to use something that's got a little body with it, because otherwise it dries on your plate and it does not come off.
The green paper, Robin, that was the shoe paper.
From packing material.
We think. Well, I mean, it was packing material. We think it was from shoes.
Yeah.
But it is quite the look. You know what's funny, though, is I think it has kind of faded.
It has, but it's faded very nicely. It's aged well.
Some paper's like good wine.
This would be one of them.
Oh, good morning, Katie. You're new.
Hello, hello. All right, here we go.
Katie Rose. Sounds very
so, now I should have talked about this before.
All right, here's Christy with one of our... She's always got good questions for us. Can you use regular acrylic paints? Yes, like the cheap stuff. That's what that whole box over there, well, you can't really see. I guess it's right off of camera, but, and that's what he used last week, too, were the, oh, here, can I have one so I can hold it up? I know that you're kind of multitasking here.
Look at this.
That's fantastic. Now, talk about what paper, because again...
All right, I want you to talk about the paper, because I'm going to pull the next...
And hand me one of the Apple paints. Okay, very good. Cool. Okay, so like this first one that we use is the Arches 140-pound watercolor paper, hot press. So it's smooth.
Yes, and that's a big thing, because in a minute I'm going to get out another one that is the rough, and it's kind of a pebbly finish.
Right, and we were kind of talking about this, but here, Christy, here's the... And I'm thinking...
Isn't that lovely? I mean, don't you just... I love that. I love that.
Here, I'll hold it up over here. That's a lot better. Because it's on the big ones. So that's the cheapy crafty stuff. I mean, I think that whole set...
It's like $14 or something. It was ridiculously...
very reasonable. So totally. And,
okay,
and a
so
lot of the...
still got some good stuff on there.
Okay, so this was the same thing. Because we decided that we should probably do 2 of each. Just to kind
well,
of...
actually, I'm going to do 3 of this one, because I'm going to clean my...
Okay, she gave me that information yesterday.
Yeah, I lied. Well, I will do at least 2. There won't be any singulars. And there's going to be a little bit of muckety muck on the plate here, as you can still see.
So we're trying to do the stencil or a mask. Then you do the ghost print, or, you know, what's left of it on the plate.
And I'm hoping that this is going to do some... Now, this is the same paper that I just used.
Okay,
I haven't changed... This is number 3 of this watercolor paper. And I used some of this when I made my ATC cards. And this is where this discovery came about with the...
And then also when I was like, well, if that's true, then we need to think about, like, the order that you were pulling these prints. Look at that. It's quite pretty. Now, careful, because you got some shiny stuff all over that, so you gotta...
Okay, am I tilting it the right way?
Yeah, sort of. You're getting enough. You might move it up towards the camera ever so slightly. And then a little bend. There you go.
Okay. All right, the plate. I'm starting to like my plate.
And that is pretty.
Isn't that beautiful? All right, well, that's kind of drying because I don't really care about that. Then we're going to talk about what I just sort of talked about, which is the ATC card. So can you see on the surface there of the emboss where we did the modeling paste? It kind of looked bumpy, and I was just looking at it and I was thinking, why did that happen there?
Get that ripply. It's ripply.
Ripply. So this is, whoa, it's stuff. I haven't, what we have discovered about the cards. You do not want to wax these little babies until you are completely, till you've signed them, till you've glued anything on that you could possibly want to glue on.
And when she says wax them, that is the Tim Holtz Distress Glaze that we use, which is also like the Jedikins micro glaze. And then other people have said that it's similar to, I don't know, kind of shoe polish or whatever. But, I mean, whatever you use that you finally seal them with, just make sure that that really is the final thing that you want to do, because Let me tell you, that Tim Holtz stuff.
I had trouble getting my signature. I couldn't find a pen that would work. So it was a really bad thing, and live and learn. Okay, so you can see the texture on this. This is the same paper as this, and I'll let Mariah read that off to you while I'm getting my plate ready to go here.
So it is the Arches 300 pounds, 100% cotton, cold press, rough. So I'll try to hold that up here so you can kind of get a little bit better idea of how that rough. Hopefully that shows up there. I don't know if it is or not, but it does have that ripply, and that's what was left behind on the plate. I love this paper. It's thick.
And it's really, it is delightful to work with.
So, like, if you want to make ATCs, like, this would be, like, a very cool thing to do it with.
I love this. It's called Gray something.
I read a post the other day that it made me laugh. That this, like, does anyone know how to cook umber? Because it's either raw or burnt. That's some crafty humor, y'all.
Okay, well, as you can see, this stuff is okay. Number one, it's opaque. This is transparent, and then I'm going in a minute bust out some more of my heavier body stuff. But I really it's kind of nice every now and then just to get that different stuff going on there. And I have a tendency to work with a much wetter plate than I see most people using. And
it's just how she rolls.
That's just how I roll. Each to their own. I can't not do that. All right, here we go. Pebbly stuff.
Getting some chuckles in the chat. Thanks, guys. I like that.
Now, the one thing I will say, this is a clean brayer, and it's not even it's an old brayer from my printing days at Tech.
Oh, Robin likes the camera setup. Thank you. We're working on that.
How about that?
Some of my extra funds to buy a new camera. Actually, P bought it for me. That was very nice of her.
Look at that. See that texture? You don't get a nice crisp thing. You can see all the wibbly wobblies there.
It gives you that distressed look.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like pre-distressed. Here.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say. Oh, please tell me I didn't do that. And you do need to did you notice that other one kind of wiggling around? You want to hold it down while you're trying to pick up as much as possible. The other thing I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to push that
texture in.
Pebbly texture into what's left there.
All right. They're liking it. Thanks, Joanne. She says, love that texture. I'm telling you, it was just, these are those happy accidents that it's not like, we wish
it is not.
We're like, hey, you know what would be cool? No, we weren't. It was,
no.
How did that happen?
Observation.
Okay, now let's do that again.
All right, this is still some more of my...
Now, a lot of times when Pete's doing these sort of mad scientist things, we don't always know.
Yeah.
So...
it's non-duplicable.
That's how she cooks.
That's how I cook. Okay, yeah, it's wonderful, and you're going, oh my gosh, can we have that again? And I'm like, nah, not really.
And I'm not being rude.
No, I'm not being mysterious, and
like
stash with my stuff. That's just the way it is.
The secret of the sauce is that it's a secret to everyone, including the chef.
All right, here, read that.
Okay, this is the Yatsutomo. There we go. Yatsutomo. Multimedia mineral paper. Okay, this stuff is crazy. Like, it's somewhere... supposedly it's made from, like, rocks and stuff. But it's a lot like Yupo. It's made for watercolor, right? I think that's kind of what it's... That was, like, on the packaging. Well, and all of these we do... Or most of these... I'm not saying all of them, because she added new ones. But most of these I do have listed in the description box and links to check them out if you want to do that. But ooh, that's cool. But this is a lot like Yupo.
Okay, I'm not really loving it.
You are not loving it?
I'm not loving it.
Well, it's slicky.
It's very slicky, and you can't even tear it.
Yeah,
you have to cut it.
I can see this little corner where she
tried to tear it with my ruler. And I was like, what is this? What's going on here?
But it does feel so interesting. Like, it just has a real Yupo feel to it. So we may end up using this for stencils because we love the Yupo for stencil.
It is. It's very awesome. Well, now let's see what happens when we put our mask down on this. I'm trying to get these up. The reason I wrote these on there, well, there's two reasons. Is because
otherwise you would never know.
I wouldn't. I would remember this because this paper has. I wish you could reach out and feel it because it's weird. It feels weird. I mean, the Yupo paper feels weird, but this feels weird. It's made from stones.
Yeah, Robin's asking if you could die cut it. I would say that it probably would die cut very nicely. I mean,
if you needed a really thin.
Yeah, I knew what you meant, Robin. She had a little bit of typo
okay,
thing.
Look at those nice.
Ooh.
And I am getting a little bit of the pebbly. Can you see the pebbly finish there?
Don't you turn it back the way you had it for just there you go. Oh, you're straight into the light. Come out of the light, Carolyn. Gets her every time.
That's her. And
I
that's really
a running joke.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, my stuff's drying up on my plate here, which
okay.
That's not really an issue, but whatever. I really wanted to start each one with them. But whatever. We're going to do, this is my second favorite paper to pick up things.
And this was the mineral paper.
That was the mineral. This is the Hammerhill. Mariah will tell you about that.
Okay, so
hopefully we can get this print. It hasn't dried out.
The Hammermill Premium Copy Paper is a lot like, well, it's a kind of a top-end presentation style paper. And if you want it in a larger format, I noticed, I looked all over, and I'm sure that it probably does exist somewhere, but if you want something like an 1117 or larger sheet to work on your larger gel plates, then something very similar to this 32-pound premium copy paper would be like an Epson or HP presentation paper. And we like the weight
I do
of
have
it.
some of that coming up, by the way. This
also is awesome stuff if you want kind of fancier print, like if you're doing printables. When I want the color to be really rich and the image to be crisp, this is the stuff to use. Yep. This 32-pound Hammermill premium copy paper. It's the one with the parrot on it. I kind of like their packaging, that they have the different animals on their packaging.
Yeah.
It's the one with the parrot. So, love this stuff. It works for all sorts of things. So it's a great paper to have around the studio to use for all kinds of things. Now, it's pretty slicky, so like you don't, yeah, and Robin loves. Oh, they don't stock it at Walmart. Well, we buy everything through Amazon. I know that's really terrible, but we don't leave the house, so they do ship it. And I even bought like just a regular case for like our day job stuff of the just regular copy paper. I think it's the one with the hedgehog. It's pretty nice, but it's 24-pound and it's not as slick.
Look at that lining up there. Are you all applauding? You should be, because it happens once in a blue moon.
The oohs and ahs.
Okay, so you saw it before when I tried to pick up some stuff and it wasn't picking up. This Hammerhill paper is Hammerhill. What is it?
She wants it to be on a hill.
I do. I want that hammer on that hill, but it's in a mill. Okay, so you saw what I put on there. I put on some of the titanium
Petra says it's lovely.
buff. Now, I'm going to let this dry, and Mariah, you need to have this so that you can grab it, because I would like to put another higher contrast print over the top of this at a later date once that's dry.
Okay, and then Christy's asking, what size is your gel plate? So this is the 5x7, and does the water ink make it easier to pull?
The what?
Does the wetter ink, like the more ocean?
No. The wetter ink dries out fast. You've got to have something with some body, with some gooey stuff. And this is where this gloss medium comes in. Now, if you're going to be messing around and you can't figure out what you want to do, which that happens a lot in my case. This retarder stuff.
It's a good starter
it
thing.
It lets you make decisions while you're fluctuating and
Figure out
deciding things.
And you haven't had all your paper cut, and you know.
This is the matte stuff. And I really do. I have this in a more fluid version, but I use this a lot for on here. Now, the reason I'm not concerned about the plate, you know, getting all dried out or whatever, is because I can use this stuff and pull it up, whatever's on there. This stuff right here, this squishy ushy, the reason I like this is because I'm going for the color. I couldn't find it in
A
heavier. So,
Oh, hey, here, shoot, I kept one of your premium copy.
oh, that's all right.
That's your next one. You're
Yeah.
supposed to pull. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I love this. This is also flowy. It's
yeah,
I really like this gold better than I do the heavy body because it's number one, it's more.
Aw, that's awesome. Petra said she ordered a gel plate today after seeing you working with it in the other video. Thanks,
Well,
Petra.
Thank you. That's really super because I know
high
that,
praise.
yeah, there are
Or
a ton of
inspiring.
those. Now I will say, Robin, remember when I was mixing up all my paints and everything? You've got, if you're going to do, let's say, you really want that to mix up and you don't want little blobby things out there. Okay, again, I've got way too much paint on here, but I don't really care.
Hey,
Can you see those spots? You want to make sure that you've got that evenly distributed because you're going to have some, see that right there? I can tell you right there.
Well, and the other thing is I don't know. I have other thoughts about it and like to, you know, side seat gel plate. Sometimes it's hard watching. Take the roller away.
Rude, Mariah. Really
She does it to me all the time.
Rude. Oh, we got a little stuff on there. No
Yes,
worries.
that's exactly right, Robin. That's why we said
No.
buy the ream of paper or more, because especially when Pia was first starting, because, whoo, she'll do smaller sessions now, which is very nice, because like she can, you know, have a little more focus.
I really want to work that in. Okay, this is our other piece of hammer mill, not hill. Mill.
Maybe one day they'll send us
Isn't
some
now
money
see,
for
look
saying
at
their
that.
name right.
Isn't that just lovely? Look at that. Still picking up some of that pebbly texture there from that watercolor paper, which I think is absolutely awesome. I don't know how long that's going to go on, but I do like it.
And there's some good. So the other thing I've noticed with this is that the slicker papers, especially when she has a bit of heavier ink or the paint on there, that it's gonna create that little smush.
Yeah, it's kind of a texture that it happens when you pull it up. I like that. Some people don't like that. They think that, and I just, you know, I guess it's a personal preference. Now, I didn't tell you what this was before I did it, but look at that.
Which one is that?
This
You
is.
didn't give me a note.
I just have one of these. This is high cotton content, buffered acid free, printing paper.
Where's that
It's
one?
the fancy stuff. I can't remember where I got it. I ordered it on sale.
Oh.
We'll have to look it up.
No, I have in the description box below. So there are two. There's the ivory and the white. Now this isn't exactly that paper, but it is extremely similar in its cotton content and how it's. So it's a very similar paper, just by material, not by name brand. We had this from some other stuff that we had ordered, like through samples and stuff. So I went ahead and found one and have that linked below. So there's an ivory, and this is like 75% cotton or something like that. Like, it's a really high content.
Well, the next one I use is going to be, it's 75% cotton, 25% linen.
Yeah.
Which I love that.
And this has, oh, that's the one that I have listed. So this would be very, very similar to it. And it's
similar.
Very beautiful paper. They say it's for like resumes, and we're like, who hands out resumes anymore? Especially on really nice paper. Because they're not going to call you back anyway, like to let you know if you have the job or not. They just let you know if you have the job.
Well, since you're going to be
rude.
working from home probably anyway, I mean, you know, why not use the...
I mean, send out a mass email.
Save a branch on a tree.
Save a tree.
So
I
can use it.
Make some art with that. I'm keeping things out of the landfill by doing art.
Okay, I'm going to use a different.
What are you doing?
I'm changing my stencils out.
Good.
Everybody's tired of seeing that one.
And where's the
But
crisscrossy one?
Oh, I didn't bring the crisscrossy one in.
Oh.
Guess that's where that's going to be. Kind of flop down there.
And one must be committed.
Well, got a little overlapping, but we'll see.
It's like playing chess.
All right, now you can see
piece.
I've already pulled this print on this side, and I think it's really interesting. But let's see what happens here.
Now this is
This is lovely, lovely paper. This is the.
So it's 75% cotton, 25% linen. Comes in 8.5 by 11, 85 GSM, and this is the ivory. And it has a beautiful.
Oh, it does. It's just like, oh my gosh! Now look at that. Is that not some wonderful stuff?
Sorry, I'm trying to get the light just right over here on this camera. It kind of wonks out on me if I get too close, but hopefully you guys can kind of see a little bit of that texture to it. It has nice tooth, but it isn't too crazy because again, this is like meant to print resumes and stuff.
But it's so fine. Here, I need that piece.
Swappies.
Swappies. Swappies. Pulley-offies. All right, now this is just the other part of the paper, so I really have to get this
That looks great.
right on the money.
I like
Isn't that interesting? I wished I'd lined it up a little better.
Yeah.
You know, I see people doing these where they make
that is just,
marks
just
on
not even go there,
so
that is so not who you are.
Yeah, it's really true. This is pipe dream. Isn't that just absolutely wonderful? I love it. Okay, still have a lot of good stuff on my plate.
Yeah,
here.
and that you've got the little fuzzy bits.
The outlining.
Outlining. I'm sure there's a word for that.
Outlining.
We need to work on
Okay,
our
let's
printing
do it.
terms.
Let's do a little.
Yes, the ivory color is beautiful. So I think like if you wanted that, I don't know. It's what am I trying to say? Like with a artistic project that you want a more antique look, or like just more natural, so it's not like a bright white. 'Cause so many of these papers are like bright white, and so this really makes it a bit more warm and I don't know, earthy. There we go.
And I also think it's very elegant.
Oh, here
we go.
All right, so little heads up on these bad boys because we did this last week with the sprays, and let me tell you, when I was like, I'm gonna be cleaning up that blue, I was cleaning up that blue. In fact, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, I have a new. This is my side. This is my desk that P's at. New catch paper and everything because that blue was everywhere. It went underneath the desk.
Look at this. It's going all watery and stuff.
Well, because it's water-based.
How cool is that? Well, I don't even think we need to stencil that. But I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use something
This is the stuff after stuff. So we liked the other 3 colors that we won in the little prize giveaway thing that Debbie did. And we liked it so much, we're like, but we need some reds to be able to mix them and make more brown. You know, P's favorite color. All roads must lead to brown.
It really is. And I've got my stencils over here where I'm going to be brayering off. There's just really not enough room here. I need about a 6-foot area so I can just fling stuff.
I'm thoroughly convinced that no matter how much space I would give her, it would. Oh wow.
I mean, I think some people would probably.
That's very similar to. So some people have been using, like Robin McClendon. She used that stains. Who is it? Patty Pockets, something like that. The stains for a similar kind of technique where it bubbles out like that. Remember?
Okay, now hold that. That'll be a nice background for something else. All right. Yeah. I don't. That's interesting. I don't know if I
like it.
I love it or
I like
whatever.
It gives that bloppy, watery. I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, I'm going to go, well, maybe I should.
Oh, now that, okay, sorry. And then this was on the Strathmore Bristol. Dear Lord, you threw in some.
Sorry,
I will have to list this one.
I had
this
to.
is something that we use quite often around here, but typically to cut out, like when we make the washer or anything like that, it's really reasonable paper. Like as far as like kind of a heavier, because like 270 GSM, 100 pound, and it's like comes in 9x12, so it's like on a pull, you know, like a pull pad. And a lot of times you can even find it at like Walmart or even Tuesday Morning for super cheap. That's where we bought like a big stack, because we're like, just, it would be stupid to pass that up. So that's where we started out with a lot of that. So it's the Strathmore Bristol, and it's the Sketch, not Multimedia. Because
No.
we've tried that too, and they are very similar.
Okay, Mariah, can you talk about that?
Yes. So here is another Yatsutomo.
Yatsutomo.
Sketch paper. Now this stuff is very interesting because it is heavy tooth on one side and really smooth on the other.
And just a minute, and I'll tell you which side. Okay,
Yeah,
I
which
saw
side?
someone, and using this paper, and
I think it was Robin McClendon.
it may have been, and she
She
talked
watches
about it. But she said you should just use the smooth side. Well, I just used the rough side there.
We
Look
wanted
at that.
To
Is
see
that
about
not?
that little, kind of like with the watercolor paper, to get that ripply. It's a 5x6, right? Plate, your gel plate. 5x6.
5x7.
5x7. Sorry. Yes, that makes more sense.
Now I'm using, and you can really tell the difference when you feel this paper.
Yeah.
Right away, you're going to be clued into which side is rough and which side is
like
smooth.
there's no question. Some papers, there's always like, well, I don't know, like.
And it pulls, it acts ever so slightly just like tissue paper, but now look at that.
Or like the rice paper. I think a lot of people were saying that it's similar.
But it's heavier.
Yeah.
It's
which
much
is
heavier.
nice, because then you're not
Which,
tearing.
now I'm really loving this, that I've got some good stuff to work with on my plate here.
Now that was on the smooth side.
So we're going to go, which is, not my.
You're getting some really good, like, base shapes and stuff. I'm very proud of you today.
Thank you. All right, now we're going to, that is like, wow. I never use just those little drops of unheard of, but I'm trying to get this to the point where I can use my.
Okay. Now we are up to the Apadana pH neutral, acid free. Oh, this is the tissue paper.
This is
This
the
one,
one.
yeah.
I will just warn you. And I chuckled when I read I read reviews. I really
She
do.
does.
I
don't.
religiously read
I
reviews.
just look at stars and I'm like, okay. It seems
I find them sort of entertaining when I don't have
That's
anything
true.
to
She
do.
does
I
find
read
some good
reviews.
ones. We should create like one of our blogs and be like some of our best found reviews that are funny.
Oh, they are. They are. But they said, we love this paper, but it arrives in the mail and it's all folded. Well, most of my tissue paper that I use is all crunched up anyway. But you can see that's pulling off some stuff. We even got some Cess Pink stuff there, which I didn't really know that there was anything left on the...
Yeah, I think you kind of had
Left
it
on the
stacked
plate
under
there.
there and finally it lifted.
Finally it lifted. Okay, we're back to some good old...
So this is like a 20 by 30 inch sheet. So like, big. We just cut everything down so we could
It
show
wasn't
it well.
flopping about on the table,
Yeah,
and
we
I don't
kinda
really
do
have
the-
flopping about room here right
Yeah.
now.
And it's also a lot easier for us to kind of stack things to the side and keep them, kind of coming for you guys, so that way we're not fumbling about with trying to figure out where to put things, because there's not a ton of space up here. One
Not
of
a
these
ton.
days, we're going to win the lottery and buy a warehouse or a hotel. I keep saying that. I'm really leaning towards the hotel thing.
I am too, with the central courtyard.
So, if anybody knows of a cheap one in the Dallas area, we'd like to stay here. I think.
I really like that, but I'm just feeling this more than that. And I love the tissue paper when you really want to get in your little cracks and crevices, because it is just the best ever to do that.
So Joanne says, have we ever tried tracing paper? Supposedly this is very similar to the tracing paper. No, we have not actually purchased tracing paper, but we've seen in the groups that a lot of people use it and have said that I think this is very similar in the way that it pulls and kind of the
Now,
general feel.
Isn't that it's teal?
Yes. Okay, Robin says, does that expensive tissue paper work differently than cheap stuff? Yes, it does.
But you know, it's really,
All in all, it's not that
I don't think it's that bad.
it's not that expensive,
And
is what she's saying.
I've had really grim results with.
And let me tell you this. So this is where I really knew, and I maybe Robin's lobbing me a nice question, and I do appreciate that. That I used some of the just regular plain Jane old tissue paper that I had from leftover from a present, and number one, it does not take ink like this stuff does, as far as even like color sprays, anything. And I was very disappointed with how it performed, because I did the little ruching thing that I like to do on some of the projects, and it just did not perform the same way as what the stuff that I had used prior that P had made for me that she pulled from the jump lane on the really nice stuff. Okay, so that being said, now we are up to the Yuan. Is it Yuan? Juan.
I really
it's
don't.
Xuan. So
Yeah.
I can't remember how you say that, but I think it's
It's somewhere there in the.
Jean Yun. Maybe not Yun. Need to work on that. Anyway, rice paper, 10 by 14. I say that I used to be a smoker, and it reminds me of cigarette, like the paper that they use to roll cigarettes.
Yeah.
It has that line. It's, acid-free, kind of fancy stuff, right? It leaves a neat little texture too. It
Yeah,
has
and
the
I
one
must
side that's smooth
say,
and
I
there's
do not,
texture.
I do not love this on the big jump plate because it rips.
Yeah, it's hard to. And then P is still working on that pulling from the opposite direction that Robin had recommended. And I'm always like, you're not pulling it right. It's because she's short. So it's hard to, you got to almost, stand up when you're doing the big plate and then pull across. Versus, picking at the corner and then kind of.
All right, that really, I could feel it
Yeah, you're getting.
pulling off paper there. This
Okay.
is not my favorite go-to paper. I don't love this paper.
Not
Some
for
people
this.
love this paper. I personally do not love this paper. All right, well, we're
Not
just,
P's friend.
no. I just, there's just so many other things that you can use in this same.
Yeah,
Now, that was
want,
just-
if you're looking for a lighter weight, more see-through kind of
Yeah, go with your tissue paper. Go with, I
that
don't know.
sketch paper with the tooth on one side and the slicky on the other. I think that would be a nice somewhere in between the tissue paper and this situation.
And
Just by feel.
I really do not love this deco
The silver.
silver. I don't know. I'm just kind of,
You're
hold
meh.
on. Nah.
Meh. Meh.
But you can also see this paper, and you can, I don't, can you see it on the thing? It has little,
That's what
lines.
I was talking about. Looks like that. If anybody was a smoker, you would know. That looks like cigarette paper.
or smoking something else.
We don't know.
We don't know anything about that.
Not until it's legal or whatever.
All right, now I finally have a pretty nice background that I can use. So this is another one, Mariah, to
I
put.
do like that. I like the way that turned out. As
Okay,
far as
that's going to
like
be
a base.
lovely for that stuff that Mariah does with her whooshy whooshy,
Good.
ruchy. Okay, here we are. Now this is actually.
Yeah, CAP is lifting the prints up. For delicate paper, pull it back on itself. I keep telling her, Robin. She's just,
That's probably okay. What I did on this, just so that I could show you the size of the sheet.
Okay, yeah, so earlier when I was talking about the 32-pound hammer mill, same basic stuff. It's just this was the full sheet, which was I think it was either Epson or HP. I couldn't really remember because it was in my office and it has been taken out of the packaging. I'm just kind of going by what I remember and what I could find online these days because it's pretty old. Holds up well, but very similar in finish to the 32-pound hammer mill. It's just size-wise, I didn't find anything that hammer mill had for like that larger tabloid size, 11/17, or even the 13x19. Epson has some really nice papers that come in like the 13x19 sheets. So if you're using your larger gel plates and want a larger sheet that is similar to that 32-pound hammer mill, that's the way to go. Like, that is similar stuff. I know I love paper. I used to work at a print shop. Love paper.
Now, isn't that absolutely wonderful? And I did that for a reason. I'm hoping that I can get
She's
this
doubling down here.
on here and show you a positive, negative right next to each other.
Kind of no 10.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, pulling up some cool stuff there too. That's cool. Oh man, and you almost lined that up.
I really almost did.
It looks like an ampersand.
Sort of, it does. It does. But I love this. I love this taupey gray color with the turquoise, and that's kind of, you know, I don't know. That's,
Ooh.
Do love it.
Oh, hello, Melody Maid. Welcome.
All right, there you go.
Appreciate that. Welcome to the chat.
Now
Yeah, that's some good stuff. I find that gray a bit institutional.
Institution. It's elegant, Mariah. It's elegant.
There's a fine line between institutional and elegant.
Well, I don't know that I would necessarily.
Maybe it's like a cool based gray is more institutional. You had it a little, make it a little more warm, and then it's elegant.
All right. Well, I'm going to warm it up a bit, and I'm going because I do want a little bit more, and I might even throw in what.
What are you saying? What?
I might throw in.
Oh, watch the sleeve.
Watch the sleeve.
Boy, you about had an Izzy moment there.
Just because I'm going into darker.
All right, and this is the Amazon packing paper.
Which we have
a bit of. Hey, supposedly there's somewhere you can go on your Amazon account and tell them that you only want paper products. Or like paper packing material. I still have yet to find that, but supposedly.
No, if there's
so we get like a mix.
Right side or a wrong side to this. I'm mainly.
We don't know what the tooth or the. Because we can research that and be like,
for a background here.
Hey Amazon, what is your paper content?
Because I want to do some other things here with No, that's funny.
Sorry,
all right.
We don't have that much info on
good background here, and I don't know. You know, I really sometimes I do this just because I want that whole sheet to have something on it, so I don't have to worry about if I'm hitting the right spot or not. You know, you got a little wiggle room there, and there I've got. Okay, that's good.
I like it because it kind of breaks up, and you know that's the cool thing about like the gel plate printing. Is you can kind of have those sections. Carrie does that a lot. Like she does her pieces and it creates cool little like almost patchworked little sections, which is cool. And then when you do that final lift, you've got some really interesting things happening just within one hole.
Yeah. There's that. All right, we're getting down to where we're doing some.
Can I have my chapstick?
I don't know. Where is it?
It's right there by the markers at the top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Mariah needs to talk.
Cold and dry.
Mariah needs to talk about this paper because I don't have a.
Oh, well, thanks for stopping by, Melody. We'll see you. Yeah. Check us back. All right, we're about to use the waxed. Now, this stuff is awesome, and I don't know if Lisa's here and just hasn't said hello or anything, but
chime in.
Lisa from Series Hecka sent us some very awesome Happy Mail. We did a little video about that. But she included some of her scraps from her wax dyed paper. We are just so in love with this stuff. He's already done a few little test runs with it and is just fallen in love with it. Oh, hello, Cheryl.
I made some envelopes too.
She made some envelopes. But
very happy.
It's such cool stuff. I wish I knew exactly more like how it was all made, but you'll have to kind of maybe check out Lisa's channel, and I think I have her information below. I'm pretty sure in the description box, so come back around and check that out. Head over there. She sells it in her Etsy store, but it goes very quickly. I think we're very lucky to have these, and we like scraps. And I used that in the hashtag last week. We'll take your scraps in my Happy Mail video. We really will. We like the little pieces.
I hope I got the right opacity here because I wanted a
that's
little bit.
pretty.
Isn't that wonderful? And it's just,
Ooh.
I don't know. It's you think it's really delicate, but it's pretty tough.
Yeah, because it's waxed. So it's like tissue paper with a bit of. That's the wax dyed paper from Lisa at Serious Hecka. Isn't that cool, Robin? I'll get you I'll send you some. I think it would be really fun to emboss this stuff, and I bet it would die cut very nicely.
But
Check
see
out
that
Lisa's
spot?
channel. She does all kinds of things with it. So, and she makes this stuff.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. We're very in love. Look at that.
Isn't that beautiful? Now that, I just love how it shines through. It's just
Yeah,
enough.
it's subtle.
It's very subtle, and
Robin says, "Please do." She wants us to send her stuff. We'll get it in the mail. Sending out Happy Mail this week.
this is the last color, so I'm going to use, because this is so.
And I think she does these sort of in batches, so I'm not sure that like you can always get exactly the same color. I've seen Carrie; she's used some red, but we got purple, a teal color, and then this kind of pinky beige. It's
Yes,
so
which
lovely.
I'm using next.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Just really, I really do. I'm almost tempted to put a little.
Yeah, I think you need a little contrast of something there.
And I don't know that this is it.
Well, I like it. It's certainly in my happy color area of life.
We shall see. That teal, because it is so transparent.
Yeah, it may or may not. We'll see. I
We'll
really
see.
wish you could change it up with the stencil, but I'm just saying.
Well, if you want to fetch me, these are the only ones I got out.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's how I kind of do it. I just stay with one.
One or two. Okay.
Mhm.
That's fine.
And I really love.
I
Okay,
think
I'm
that
really,
was-
really making sure that I wiggle this down because this paper is pretty. It's
like tissue.
it's not lightweight. It's pretty heavy. As far as the transparent type papers go. All right, here y'all. I'm pulling from the top. And look at that. Just touched it.
Oh, Anya. Hello. Hi. Is the wax same as tissue paper or slightly heavier? I am new to gel printing. Okay, so
Slightly heavier, I would say.
thank you, Anya. So yeah, we don't. Again, I wish I knew exactly more of her technique, and I think that if you go over to Serious Hecka and check her out, you can either purchase some from her. But yeah, it is very similar to tissue paper, but a bit heavier, and I think that's because of the process and the wax and the dye that is put into it. But it adds a bit of strength to it as well. So it has this lovely crinkliness to it, has a little bit of a finish, has different colors to it, that sort of thing. It's really cool stuff. And then this that P's running right now is, I think there's been a few things that have happened to their piece of paper. But originally it was kind of one of our printables that was printed off. And in the plaid, what was the original color? I think brown, yellow, orange.
Kind of right. You can see it right there. It's a little bit orange.
I think that's been through
I
a
mean-
few gel plate printing.
Absolutely, it has. Okay. Now, what do we have over here?
So that's something fun to do, especially like with the 32-pound hammer mill stuff. Print off some printable stuff. You could even do like if you have eco dyed. So the orange on here, Petra, is some of the golden. What is the one that's the kind of orangey, reddy color? This.
That's one of my go-tos. In fact,
Yeah.
I should get some of that in there. Thank you, Mariah, for reminding
Hey,
me.
well, that was
Since
Petra
we're
asking about
Changing
the orange.
colors here.
So,
All
is that
right.
the bigger one of this? Same
Yeah.
stuff, sort of.
I have two of them. I have
Okay.
a little one. Sorry, that's really messed up there.
Anyway,
But I
so
love that stuff.
that was like round 1 or 2-ish, 2-ish on this one over the printed. So yeah, if you want to go over and purchase some of our printable papers, that would be awesome.
Okay, I know that's really smushy-wishy. I understand that. You just-
Smushy wushy.
Too much paint. Okay, now here we go with our envelopes. And use the back side of that.
And Petra, if you contact me, or Anya, and any of you guys, if you kind of contact me either over on Instagram or on Facebook and get me some information, get me your info, I'll send you some sample pieces of the wax paper. Because like I said, I don't think it's available in the inner store right now. Because like she makes it in batches, and then it ooh, that's very pretty. So P's on to doing envelopes. Now, these are our bank envelopes. They also were called, oh darn it. I thought it was pretty interesting. We have a visitor. So you get to say hi, and then you're going to go back downstairs with Daddy, okay? All right, say hi, and then you got to go back down, okay?
Okay, these are the newest batch. Hi, sweetie baby. What are you doing?
She's got some sledding stuff.
Oh,
We're hoping
wow.
There's going to be some snow. All right. See you later. Oh, so these right here, because I was running out of the 6x9 envelopes that I used to send out a lot of Happy Mail in, and so I purchased these. I can't find the gold anymore because it was discontinued. That's why I had them. So I knew, I wasn't under any illusion that I was going to get those again. But these are really cool. How did that print?
It printed beautifully, but I don't like my edges.
Yeah, I
I'm
was gonna
very
say, you're
unhappy with
loose
my
a little.
edges.
Whooshy.
But I'm hoping to
But
take
these are cool
care of
because
that.
they're, the end flap. And they have a neat finish to them. They're heavier duty. That was one of my problems with the gold ones, is that I had to tape them up to send them.
Yeah, because they just shred.
Because they were plastic. It's vellum. And so really not good. Especially to send long distances. Like, overseas.
No.
Europe.
Or if they deliver their mail by the Pony Express and have to drag it behind the pony for a while. All right, now see, that's
I don't
getting...
know. I'm not loving this.
You're not loving that?
Nope.
Well, poopy on you.
Yeah, that's kind of where I feel like that has gone.
Well, we'll just hang.
I mean, it's very barky.
It's very brown.
Barky.
Barky.
It's barky.
Barky, okay. Mariah's not into the bark, so we will forego the bark. Let's go with some...
Yeah, add some of that.
Let's go back into our... Let's go
Now,
into some
Do
pink.
you want to bring any of these back And
I
do you
do.
want to maybe switch up and put your other stencil back on and add some interest by doing that? I'm just making suggestions. If you guys have any, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, suggestions are appreciated.
And I'll take this opportunity to say, if you haven't liked the video, if you would like it, that would be super duper. That helps us greatly. Give us a little thumbs up. Ah, there she is.
Oh.
Lisa, you come in. I bet we spent the last 5-10 minutes for sure talking about how lovely your papers are and where to get them and how to get them, and that they're probably not available, and we're showing all these people all this awesomeness.
The stuff that's not available.
That's not available. So,
all right, Mariah, are you liking that better?
I am. Is everyone liking that better? Yes, of course you are. Because that's better.
Pink poo.
Well, they're loving it. Oh, here, we'll show. Here, we got to pop this back in real quick. I'll actually show you in the small. There's the kind of pinky beigey. Here's the.
Oh, I think that's one.
And then check this baby out. Ah, she was up until 3 a.m. crafting. No worries. Look at that, though. I'm so in love with this. The purple is awesome. And look at how well that's going to go together. These are friends. Friends. Rose quartz. This is what that pinky color. We've been calling it beigey pink.
Oh, that
Rose
is absolutely my favorite.
And I really, it's just not doing it justice on the camera, but it's very lovely, lovely loveliness that's happening on all three. Oh, I like that. I just saw it in the...
Well, this is a little bit like, the wonderful whatever I make that everybody's going, oh, that's so wonderful. Could I have the recipe? I'm like, well, I'd really like to give it to you, but...
Well, we could watch the playback and see if we... Hey, that's one nice thing about having it on camera. We could watch the playback to see if we could reproduce what
Again,
you did.
this is that pearlescent stuff that is just... and I'm hoping that we're going to get a really lovely sort of lavender mix here in a minute. I don't know that that's going to happen.
And you're probably asking, okay, well, why would you do that, on the envelope like that? But she'll come back again and probably do some other layers and things.
Yes, move it around.
That sort of thing. Or this is where, doing on a larger plate would be probably a little bit more ideal on, obviously this size. But for the video, we wanted to make sure that you guys saw everything. It was in a smaller, kind of contained area.
And I'm going to try to get this, right in the middle.
Lisa uses the Luminex in her acrylic paint for journal covers.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's
I just
stuff.
recently discovered it.
Yeah, and she needs to start buying that probably in the
larger
whatever size up if they have it, or in a twin pack.
Okay, look, I did a nice. That will be a sendable.
Fun stuff, and I think this. I'll make a journal, kind of like I did with the little envelopes, maybe coming up, do a project where I make a whole journal out of the little envelopes with these new ones. I got 120 of them.
Yeah, so you got a few to
resist.
mess around with.
It was like $13 for 120 of these kind of brown crafty, and they're really neat because they have almost.
I'm gonna let you show those while
Okay.
I get my thing ready here for.
All right, so we have this thing about finding envelopes and purchasing them for that are discontinued. So again, we're showing you things that probably aren't available. Sorry about
But
that.
it's one of those serendipitous things that just get out there and
find some things
on sale.
So I've had these things forever, and I think you can still find these in different places. I'll try to find some links to them. But we'll see about that. I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked for these. But they're copper colored. And then P just, did these on the bigger plate the other day. So they've been already, one round. And this is the crosshatchy one. But pretty cool looking. And then these were discontinued. Same kind of the number 10 envelope, but in gold. And then these banker envelopes, I've had these forever, and they've turned weird colors. They're not all the same. It was something that somebody gave me free for doing some invitations, and they weren't going to use these, so. And these were the ones that I used in the last 2 stuffed envelopes that we created, that we sent out, and people made journals. I sent one to Sheila and one off to Kip's Corner. Debbie, that was a beautiful journal that she made. Yes, that's kind of the hopes that we'll either turn these into more stuffed envelopes, which makes it more interesting rather than having to do a lot of technique to them, because that, especially like with the color sprays, it tends to make them a little more warpy, where like printing on them like this gives a great background. Great background. Got some stuff going on there. I love that catch paper. That's looking pretty cool.
Isn't it?
Do you want your envelopes back now that I rambled on about those for?
No.
There you go.
Put them back over there. Oh, I've got some more of this paper. Good.
Oh, so you did have some.
I'm sorry, I did. I just put it out of sight and out of mind.
That
Now,
looks great.
Isn't that wonderful? Okay, I think I'm going to call that one.
That was just catch paper, which is the, off the roll stuff that we talk about all the time.
And the thing about that is, if you're using that, it's a little more, has a little more.
Was this off of my desk?
Yes, this is what we're going to throw away.
This sounds familiar. This is, the stuff that I put behind. And then Pete cut it up the other day because I was like, here, you want this? You want to figure out which layer? Because it had about, 4 or 5
Yeah.
layers. Sometimes Caesar just put it on top and deal with it.
Yeah. And this one's kind of smushed up on that end over there, but it'll be all right.
I love this stuff. Now, one thing you do have to be careful about is, I would say that, especially since there is some of that stuff after spray stuff on there, that
now look at that. Isn't that wonderful?
Reactivate.
It will. If you have any brushes on there.
Brushes. But I usually don't do the brushes. That's her department.
You will be reactivating because it is a water-based.
Yes. Yes. So the Luminex is also a good top coat over the acrylics on the covers too. Yeah, for sure. And then our angel was telling us that in order to kind of seal the sprays, that type of product is really good too. She gave a long list of things to do with the sprays.
It was very
I was like, hey, we were thinking about a few of those, and then
comprehensive.
Wow, really great new ones. Appreciate that.
Now, this kind of paper is more for a collage. It's not something you're
this is like creating sort of a gel plate print masterboard.
Yeah.
Or a base.
On the gel plate. And, I probably wouldn't use all of it. And if you wanted to and you see lines on there that you really don't like, then you just come in and you...
I like that scribbly bits.
I like the little scribbly bits also.
And that's when I painted your black board that you wanted. And then it was it was kind of driving me crazy in certain videos after a while. I was like, yeah.
It was
black.
In more places than we really, really wanted it. Okay, let's use some different colors here. I'm getting kind of bored with this.
All right, are you going to do some of those envelopes, or are we going to bring anything back?
Let's bring some stuff back. Okay, this is some of that. Really, it's my other, I don't know, turquoise. I like turquoise. If I'm going to use a color, I like turquoise. Mariah's kind of the pink person.
I like most colors.
Okay, you need to get rid of this stuff here. It's clogging me up. I don't know that I'm going to use that, but I can use that for
Look at that envelope. Very happy with those. Good job. Bravo. See, she really pulled that barky into, a happy zone. The bark came back. All right, what do you want from over here?
Okay, again, this is really smushy. It's probably not the plate. And Mariah, I apologize for getting your paper messy here on the edge, but
I don't care.
at least it's out of camera.
I used to be a bit more particular about my paper in my area, but I've gotten better working through it.
Whoa, we had a little skid there. This paper, because it has a tooth to it, you need more paint to make it actually do its thing.
And I think that's one of the things, like, to talk about is that, you know, when you say, well, should I do this, or, what's the recommended thing? It really kind of, there are so many factors at play that you really have to kind of, just get your own sense about it. Like,
you do. And I like lines, but I don't like that.
And, the weather's going to determine some of it, like how quickly your paint dries. We do actually have the fan on today because we're trying to push the heat down. So all of those things you have to kind of take into consideration, like, how hot it is outside, how humid it is, your plate, and kind of getting it in that happy area of where the paint is coming off the way that you want it to.
Yes. It really is, and when someone, says, well, what kind of paints do you use? I use all of them. All of them, and even the cheap paints. And see, look at that.
Going to if you're ever at the craft store and their clearance bin, some of our P's favorite stuff is that Martha Stewart that was like 99 cents.
Here, I got to show you this stuff. It
that's
comes out in clumps. I'll use some of that just to show you.
Oh wait, that's not the Martha Stewart one, but we have a Martha Stewart one too. That's
this
deco art.
Yeah, Americana.
That's like your silver
is
that
it?
you don't like there.
Okay. Well, I had to resolubilize this. It was almost a point past. When your acrylics get to the point where they're just really okay. Let's use some of this opaque paint on here because this is just
a very dark spot. That's when I did the circle journal, the clown one, I think.
Okay, now see how it's pooping out here in little blobs. Okay, now watch what it does. This is just so.
Ooh, plotter paper.
All right, now again, it's like you might be really upset about the little clumps and clogs, but if you're doing, and I'm just going to brayer this off over here.
A lot of people like that chunky bits.
Chunky bits. And it just...
this older paint comes with.
Yeah, wow. We have a hole in our paper, Mariah. I'll patch it with some of that really cool paper from... Help me out here, Mariah.
It's getting weird. What? The cool paper from...
The wax paper stuff.
Oh, yes. From Lisa.
And, and I had to patch, and I shouldn't... The little thing that I sent to you, the piece that I wanted, I ripped it.
You patched it.
But I patched it. Now look at that. Is that not just awesome? No, it's not quite done.
Sorry, she's not done with it. I was going to show it. I'll just push it up into the camera above my head.
Okay, this is really. I probably need to add a little bit more liquid. Did you?
I don't know about plotter paper, Robin. Like I would assume so. Like on the big rolls, is that? That come off of those big printers that like the architects and even like sign people use. I would think that it's probably close to presentation paper if they want it to print similarly. Like you want it that higher quality, so I would assume if that's what it is, that's what it is. It is what it is.
And I'm telling you what, this craft paper, you can see we've got a big slash there. It is really durable stuff.
Very durable.
It is.
I was like, it is pushing in the thing, and that darn fan. I could go turn it off. It's big pads. Oh. It's thin and smooth, kind of like rice paper. Oh. Well, that would be interesting. see it to know. So Lisa's loving working with the kids' drawing paper from the Dollar Tree. Has interesting texture, kind of like rice paper. Well, there you go. It's probably like that sketch paper. Yeah.
Construction paper.
It has tooth to it.
I had some of that.
I think I do that every time. It has tooth.
It does. And I've got some of that cheap
That's
paper
okay,
too
we're
that I
cool.
really like.
We're cool with you.
Okay,
folding
look
things.
at that. Isn't that wonderful?
I am loving that.
I think this is
See,
just...
and I was really like kind of skeptical about her keeping my. Like, it's pretty messed up. It's got
And I
some
got a
weird-
little bit of gold on it. I think that I'm going to call that.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm going to call that. Okay, I've got some more of
Okay.
these. Some more of these. Okay, now the one
I mean,
thing
these are
I
mixed media backgrounds. Like,
want to talk about doing...
here, do something with that thing.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh.
should. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, it's not horrible.
It's just,
It's barky.
it's barky.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. It's all right.
We got us some turquoise going on here, folks.
Here.
Hurry up and get this down because I don't know
Here,
who it
I'm gonna bring
was.
this bad boy back in. It could use a little
Love.
little turquoise, little tone that orangey.
Well, I'm just trying to hit the spots on
I
this
know.
that were.
Here, and that'll be perfect. Ah, see? Wonderful. Way better. That thing needs some of that, too.
It does, but I don't think it needs a stencil in there. I think it just needs some.
Lovely. Lovely pea. Petra's saying lovely.
Thank you, dear. And as you notice,
Yep.
on this really high dollar paper, I print both sides. You never know which side
It's
you're
true.
going to use.
Although I will say it really is very sad. Like, this is like, you know, the double-sided paper pads where the paper's really good on both sides and you're kind of like, oh. how do I
Well,
use
what you do
that?
is you just take a picture of it.
Well, that's where the journaling like comes in nicely because you could use both. I think you need to give it some.
Oh,
Oh goodness, she's making messes.
making messes.
That's part of her job.
It's part of my job. It's got a clog in it, but it's gonna. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right. Oh.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
She's getting sneezes. Think your poor. It might be coming to the end, or you need to add some more water.
I just need to add more water. I really do.
I would be interested if you want to do this to spray some of that Seth After stuff with the yellow onto that right now to see what it would do with those colors and.
Hey.
It's an idea.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Well, I don't know that that's getting any better. I'm not liking any of that. So we're going to go with Mariah's idea.
Oh wow, she's actually going to do it, y'all.
But I am bringing in my...
Oh, a new piece. Or do you want any of these? I think I just really like where a lot of these are at, and I don't want to.
Well, don't pass me anything that you like.
Okay.
Because we're experimenting now. Okay, we're going to go with
All right, I know this needs something else.
This is Flamingo.
It's so cute. She was like making the spray booth right before we started. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, well, we might try some sprays. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I appreciate you containing because I do have, you know.
Mariah was cleaning up for...
I mean, there's blue everywhere. Everywhere. Okay, this one, I'm just going to set them back
I'm gonna
behind you.
kind of see what's going on here with this spray with just a piece of the craft paper.
I don't know, that could, depending on what you're doing. It's very pink.
It's very pink. Okay, I'm really, you know, I'm not loving.
But I think it's going to be interesting that, well, sort of what's happening.
I've got lumps on my brayer.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
Lumpy.
well.
Lumpy brayer.
Lumpy brayer syndrome.
I think maybe. I'm putting things behind you.
Okay, are these the maybes that I might want to do
Yes.
something with?
And I'm not letting you have the things that you should just leave alone.
I'm not sure that I'm artistic.
I have to hide those things sometimes.
Oh, let's see what that does. Now this is, I don't know about this stuff. This is my first use on the gel plate. Now I used it on my, well, I'm loving that color. That's an awesome color.
That's too much of the same. What you got going on there?
Try to get some.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pink. It's just that was a lot of solid pink.
Oh my God, I love that. That is like in my color range totally.
So that's nice.
It is really nice. I really love that.
Cool.
We're still picking up some stuff here now. I'm
the blobs.
just happen to have a little heavy body. Oh
Goodness.
and I'm gonna. Oh
I
heavens!
think you want to bring that back here in a minute.
Okay, I can't get the lid on that, could you?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be here until hell freezes over. Okay, we got some.
I think we're kind of coming up on our hour and a half, so let's start to think about just kind of wrapping up and see a little bit about like what you guys would like to maybe see next week. One of the things that we have been talking about and we keep talking about, and I swear like I need to just schedule it so that way it is a thing and it gets done, which is dyeing paper in like a shibori style, like even though that's typically done with fabric, but we want to do it with paper and then turn that into a paper set.
Well, and the paper that we use to do our little folds, the ones that we've done so far, is
that
high cotton content.
Yeah, the 75-25% stuff, the ivory. So some of that, and then some of the other was just like the regular cotton white paper. But that's something that we're thinking about doing. Let us know in the chat, or if you're watching this back, let us know in the comment section before next week, because that's our idea. And then remember, next week is also our giveaway. And I don't know if we're going to do that at the beginning of the video or our live stream or at the end. Probably at the beginning. What do you think?
What are we giving away?
So.
Hey, she talks to me about a lot of different stuff. Well, that's
over
terribly
on Instagram.
boring.
If you're following us, that's awesome. If you would like to follow us, that's awesome as well. We are doing a giveaway, and all we're asking people to do is just, and you can do it on Facebook too. I have one of those. I might do a new post for this last week, just so people can interact with it. It hasn't had a lot of action so far, so that's one thing. But we're doing a stuffed envelope giveaway, and I can kind of show you while P's kind of doing her thing there, what one of those looks like, I believe. Sort of.
It might be covered up.
Well, it is, but I have one that's printed out, and then basically what I have done is I cut all this stuff out. I have a way of making that banker style envelope with the stuff with the little pocket. I have a printable that I might start adding in. Thank you so much, Lisa. So that's what we're sending out to up to maybe 5 people or more. Right now it's looking like, there might be about 7 people that get stuff. So head on over, check out the Instagram post. There are instructions on what to do there. Basically it is, let us know the color and then tag 2 people. Make sure that you're following us on Instagram and on YouTube. But,
Okay, well,
we're kind of open to however that's going to play out, and we're trying to get everybody involved. So, that's cool. And we'll send you one of these kind of assembled. Nice little business here. This is a purple one. I have them in other colors. And I'm thinking about creating paper sets with these in it. Or just as a bonus. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Those are some ideas. But that's one thing we'll be doing next week is doing the giveaway and letting you guys know who won.
Okay,
Maybe 5 or more people. 5 for sure. Maybe more. So, fun stuff. Fun stuff. How you doing there, P?
Well, it takes me about 30 minutes to really get into a
Oh, we got catch a thank you for stopping by, and we get it. We're probably about to kind of wrap this up, and we've shown all the papers. There were definitely 10 plus. I'll have to come back and count. Like I said, she was throwing them in at the very last. Maybe we do a little recap here once you do that poll.
and then just get rid of this stuff.
And then we'll kind of go through, show you guys everything again a little bit. Oh, bye, Carrie. Well, I think people are kind of heading out.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe we just wrap it up and say we'll show them maybe next week, and I'm sure Pia will have done something to some of them in the meantime.
I will, and I managed not to get too much of that spray around. I'm proud of myself.
I'm very proud of you too. Very happy.
Yeah.
Will be an easy cleanup. So yeah, that's the stuff. If you guys haven't, please do be sure to like the video. Again, that helps us big time. Come back, watch it later. Usually if you're doing a watch back, it's going to take a little bit of time to leave comments. Just something to keep in mind with how it renders the live streams. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We love that you guys keep coming back and visiting us on the live streams.
Send your friends.
And I think, is that kind of, that's the wrap up of everything. We do so appreciate everyone coming and hanging out with us. And let's see, I think that is about it. Shibori papers maybe next week. Let us know. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Help that.